Myth number 7. The all or nothing myth. If I can't get to the top, then I won't try to lead. What are the prospects for your getting to the top of your organization, of someday becoming the leader? The reality for most people is that they will never be the CEO. Does that mean they should just give up leading altogether? That's what some people do. They look at an organization, recognize they will not be able to make it to the top, and give up. Their attitude is, if I can't be the captain of the team, then I'll take my ball and go home. Others enter the process of leadership, but then become frustrated by their position in an organization. Why? Because they define success as being on top. As a result, they believe that if they are not on top, they are not successful. If that frustration lasts long enough, they can become disillusioned, bitter, and cynical. If it gets to that point, instead of being a help to themselves and their organization, they become a hindrance. But what good can people do if they sit on the sidelines? Consider the case of 6 men who were featured in Fortune magazine in August of 2005. In the article, they are hailed as unsung heroes of the civil rights movement, yet there is no evidence that they ever marched or sat in at a lunch counter. Their contributions, and their battles, occurred in corporate America. They led their way into the executive suite of companies such as Exxon, Philip Morris, Marriott, and General Foods. Clifton Wharton, who became the first black CEO of a large company, TIAA-CREF, says, Gordon Parks has this great expression, choice of weapons. In terms of fighting, you always have a choice of weapons. Some of us chose to do our fighting on the inside. One when Wharton and fellow pioneers Darwin Davis, James Avery, Lee Archer, James Bud Ward, and George Lewis entered corporate America in the 1950s and 60s, what chance did they think they had to become CEO of their organizations? Equitable, Exxon, General Foods, Marriott, and Philip Morris. Not much. When Avery started with Esso, now Exxon, he couldn't even use the same restroom or water fountain as other citizens. Yet it was his goal to lead. That desire was part of his first career choice, teaching. And it prompted him to change careers in 1956 when an Esso executive approached him. I loved being a teacher, Avery says. But if I could wear a shirt and tie and work for a major corporation, doing that was much more important. Avery succeeded as a leader despite incredible obstacles and prejudice, and rose to the post of senior vice president. He retired in 1986. Bud Ward, who retired as senior vice president at Marriott, has a similar story. When he was hired by Bill Marriott, Ward became the hotel industry's first black vice president. During his 20 years of leadership at Marriott, he opened 350 hotels, helped to develop the Courtyard by Marriott chain, and oversaw the company's infotech team. Ward is aware of the impact he made. It was a two-pronged thing, he says. You do the marching and the raising hell and whatnot, but you've got to have somebody on the inside to interpret that to the individuals that you're trying to reach. I saw that as my role. 3. What these men, and many others, did has made a lasting impact. In the same issue of Fortune was a special section called the Diversity List. It profiled the most influential African Americans, Latinos, and Asian Americans in the country. Most people on the list are CEOs, presidents, chairmen, or founders of their organizations, positions that it would have been more difficult to attain had others not gone before them and led well. You do not need to be the top dog to make a difference. Leadership is not meant to be an all-or-nothing proposition. If being someplace other than the top has caused you great frustration, please don't throw in the towel. Why? Because you can make an impact from wherever you are in an organization, even if you face additional obstacles, as these 6 men did. Being a leader stuck in the middle brings many challenges. You can learn to navigate them. Becoming an effective 360-degree leader requires principles and skills to lead the people above, beside, and below you in the organization. You can learn them. I believe that individuals can become better leaders wherever they are. Improve your leadership, and you can impact your organization. You can change people's lives. You can be someone who adds value. You can learn to influence people at every level of the organization, even if you never get to the top. By helping others, you can help yourself. The first place to start is by learning to overcome the challenges that every 360-degree leader faces. So turn the page, and let's get started.